In today's tutorial, I'm going to be making an arrangement for the centre of the table at Easter. If this is something that you would like to learn, keep watching today's tutorial. Welcome back to another Easter design, and I'm going to do a different shaped arrangement, but I'm still going to be using my little bunny here in the centre. So we'll pop that right into the centre of my floral foam. Now I've got half a block of foam. It's sitting in what we call a Lomey dish or a Lomey dish. Lomey, L-O-M-E-Y. That will hold water. If you haven't got anything like a Lomey dish, you could use a plate or a saucer, or you could directly attach it to the container, but you would have to make sure this was waterproof, and you would regularly have to top it up with water from the top because there isn't any depth in the cake stand itself to hold water. So this is a cake stand that I've had for a numerous amount of years. I don't use it anymore, and while tidying up my storage room, I thought it would be an ideal container for Easter. Now I have lots of greenery already cut. This is an all-round arrangement, which is possibly going to cause problem for the person that's sitting this side because they only get to see the back of the rabbit. So even though I'm making them as an all-round table centre, they might work better on a coffee table or on a buffet table where you're only viewing them from one side. Alternatively, you could put the two bunnies back to back, and then you'll have something interesting to look at from both sides. But I've done something different with the other bunny, which you'll see at the end. Now what I'm looking to do here is to use up the pieces of greenery that I had left from the last arrangement to create a bit of a circular outline. So I'm really repeating the shape of my container, placing the greenery in slightly longer so that it drapes over the side of the container. And I'm going to use a few longer pieces of the ivy to come over the side as well. This could be eucalyptus, conifer, anything really that you've got that has that nice downward flow to it, that really natural look. Depends really on what part of the world you're watching me from, because there are so many different countries that are watching the tutorials. You're going to be able to get hold of different greenery to myself. So I'm aiming to cover my mechanics right at the very beginning by adding some shorter materials to the side and some longer pieces around the outside, so that we get that nice circular shape. Now if you're in the UK, it is the springtime here, and the viburnum is seasonal, so you can pick this or forage for it if you've got any friends or neighbours that might have it in the garden. And you can buy it if you're a florist and you're watching me and you're training to be a florist, then you can buy it through the wholesalers as well. And as a point of interest, it would be quite nice to know, are you florists, are you flower arrangers? What attracts you to this video? What brings you here to this channel? Because it will help me plan videos for the future. So if you're florists, let me know. If you're flower arrangers and you're just enjoying arranging flowers as a hobby, then I can give more insider tips really on how to arrange flowers. So I've used 3 different types of greenery. I've got pittosporum, ivy and some leatherleaf there, used for different reasons. The longer material creates the outline and gives me my shape. The shorter pieces are more towards the centre, which are going to help to cover my foam and create density in the middle. And the ivy is going to really gently cascade down over the side. Then I'm going to add in some of the lovely blossom, the pink blossom, and I'm going to use the shaped pieces. So anything that I can use so it's angled downwards, I'm going to place in so that it cascades over the edge. One of the beauties of material that has a curve to it or a bend to it means that you can use it at the edge or on the sides to create a bit of movement. Anything that's really straight and solid, so pieces of cherry blossom like this that are quite straight, these can come more towards the middle. And what I'm really looking to do is to create an even distribution. I'm not creating a set pattern where I have materials maybe in every half, maybe in every quarter or in thirds. I'm just filling with greenery to make sure that I've got a clear shape and that my foam is covered. If we look at it from above, it's fairly circular all the way around, and there's a small amount of trailing ivy which helps to soften the edge of that heavy golden container. And then with the shorter pieces, I can bring them up towards the top, and we're almost creating like a domed effect where the focal point is almost exaggerated by that little bunny in the center. And I don't want to build up too far around the bunny because we don't want to hide him. He's part of the arrangement. He needs to look like he's an integral part and not something that's been put in as an afterthought. That of course could be a candle. It doesn't have to be a little wooden bunny. It could be a cross if you're looking to do something for the church at Easter, but it's going to sit really nicely there in the center. The material I'm putting in now is that ribes. This is quite an unusual colour for me because I've never seen it in white. It's not got a particular smell to it. It's a bit pungent, but it is a really pretty flower to work with. Now you might notice the top section is moving around while I'm inserting my flowers, and I'm not too concerned about that. If it's a design that you're making for home, as long as it's stable and it's not going to fall apart, that's okay. If you're a florist and you're transporting it to somewhere, maybe it's a wedding table centre or it's for a party for Easter, I quite often find it's easier to make them in two parts, and you can transport them in two different vessels. All of the containers can go in one box and all of the arrangements can be laid flat in a box, and it's sometimes easier to transport. And because I'm trying to design a more informal posy arrangement, I'm not going to worry about having everything matching all the way around. This blossom is just so pretty, and I've got to keep reminding myself not to hide that bunny there at the front. Now the remainder of my flowers are already kept quite short because they were in that previous arrangement, but the length of the flowers is really going to suit the style of this arrangement quite well. I've added an extra buttercup rose to my design just so that it's not too sparse when I finished it. And if you're lucky enough at home to have a garden with lots of greenery in it, then it's quite easy to do an all-round shape like this without adding any fresh flowers in it at all. You could use all those different types of greeneries that you've got in the garden. You could even add in some lemons or some limes for colour. You could add some chocolate eggs or some decorative eggs. So if you're limited with your budget and you don't have a huge amount of money to spend, then think about being a bit more resourceful with the material choice that you put in your design. You might have some artificial flowers or some dried flowers. Just think about how you can incorporate them and not worry about spending too much money. So that's my lovely lemon flowers all put in, and it picks up on the bow, or the little flower I think it is, of my rabbit. Then I'm going to go round with some lovely pieces of the dried statice, dried this year in the studio, which is quite unusual because it's been fairly damp over the last couple of months, and it doesn't normally work quite so well when the room isn't aerated, but it really suits this style of arrangement. That slightly curved head of the statice works nicely to come over the edge of my container. Next I'm going to look at using the hyacinth. For some bizarre reason I nearly called that a hypericum. So this one has already been support wired with a kebab stick underneath, and that will give me extra support when I push it in to the foam. Now I've only got two for this arrangement because I've kept one aside, so I'm going to put one in the front and one in the back. But what I don't want to do is echo the shape perfectly. As long as we've got that colour on the front and the back, the blue colour, that lovely textured flower, it's quite different from the shapes of all the other flowers, but it means that the blue can be seen from all directions. So wherever you're sitting, you'll be able to see that lovely colour. And then I'm going to go with all the shorter pieces of the purple Lissianthus, and I absolutely love a Lissianthus, but it's really expensive at the moment. It's quite a treat to be able to use these. I don't need the stem quite so long, so by cutting that into two, I can get two placements rather than the one. And I'm just again looking to bring it to the edge and to the centre. And if you're doing a posy arrangement like this, think about choosing round flowers for the centre and then longer, thinner flowers to form the outside edge. If you don't have the choice of having something a little longer on the edge and you've just got rounder flowers, then you'll end up with a design that's a little more formal, but it's still going to look really pretty. I've also got some white roses that I'm going to be adding in. I've already cut these to the suitable size, and they're going to help link really nicely with the colour of my rabbit there in the centre. These were left over from a wedding I had on the weekend, and they're slightly damaged on the end, but they're going to work really nicely in here. I've got 4. Now we often tell you not to use 4 when you're creating a circular design because 4s tend to make the arrangement look quite squared. But because I've put them in different positions and they're not all perfectly matching, it doesn't create that squared off look, which can sometimes spoil a design and make it look too formal. And then I'm going to add in a really lovely pink tulip. Now these have come from Evolve, which is a British flower grower. And this one I think is called Frilly Lingerie. It's a really delicate pink in its appearance and in its colour. And I'm just going to pop these in more towards the edge. The tulip does have a tendency to droop a little bit, so it's going to work quite well on the edge. But it does also work towards the middle because it's a nice big round head. And it's going to give me a different shape to the rose and the ranunculus that I've already got in. And I've done one side, so I need to keep bringing this colour, this texture round towards the back. Now if this is the first time you've created a round arrangement, what I would suggest you do at this stage is pop it down on the floor. If you're looking at it from above, you can really see if you've kept that circular shape or whether you've gone a bit rogue. If it's for your own personal use, I don't think it really matters. As long as you're going to enjoy it, who cares? And just like a rose, if you want to, you can reflex the petals back. But for today's design, I'm going to leave them as they are. And they're a flower that continues to grow once they've been cut. So they're going to stay short for me today, but by tomorrow or the following day, they can grow up to 4 inches, almost like that misbehaving child who doesn't want to sit still during story time. Now I think this one looks like a design out of a magazine. It would be worthy of the front cover of some expensive Homes and Gardens magazine. If there's any editors out there, you know where to come if you want to design for your magazine. And I'm just going to finish this one off with a small amount of gyp. I always think when you're doing a really pretty design that you want to be soft and fragile, the addition of the gyp always works really well. But this is the type of arrangement that would work really well with most flowers. You could use big flowers like lilies, you could use just spray carnations and mini roses from the supermarket. And if you're lucky enough to have garden flowers, then most flowers would work well to create this circular design. Now, one flower I haven't used yet was the forget-me-nots. So I've just popped in between filming my forget-me-nots back into some water because they don't really appreciate being out of water for any long length of time. But the forget-me-not can be a bit of a deceptive flower. It looks fragile. It doesn't look like it's going to last in an arrangement. It's a really good one. And if you're lucky enough to have it in the garden, it pretty much self-seeds everywhere. I like to leave it self-seeded in the little cracks in the garden, and then I have the opportunity to use them in the early part of the spring. We can, as florists, buy the forget-me-not from the florist supplies. And it can be a bit nervous when it arrives because you think it's fragile and it's not going to last. But after it's had a really good drink, it perks up and it works fantastically well. Now, as I add in the last few pieces of my forget-me-not, I'm going to remind you that you need to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell to be told every time I upload a new tutorial. And you can, of course, ask as many questions as you want. I'll be delighted to help you with any problems. And I've just found 2 pieces of the viburnum which I hadn't used, so we'll pop these in before I finish. So thank you as ever for watching. I look forward to seeing you for the next video very soon, and goodbye for now.